The Estadio do Maracanã, also known as the Estadio Jornalista Mário Filho, is located in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and has served as host of home games for Flamengo, Fluminense, and Vasco da Gama since 1950, and Botafogo from 1950 to 2007. The 78,838 capacity venue takes its popular name from the Maracanã River and is situated in a complex which also includes an 11,800 capacity gymnasium known as the Maracanazinho. The Maracanã was originally built to host the 1950 World Cup in Brazil, and construction for the stadium began in 1948, with the designs supplied by a group of 7 architects and giving a period of 2 years to complete the stadium. However, construction fell behind schedule, requiring 3,500 workers to come in to make the stadium viable to host games. The stadium opened for football on the 16th of June 1950 with an All-Stars game, where Didi scored the stadium's first goal. However, construction of the original designs took until 1965 to finish. 8 days after the stadium's first match, the Maracanã hosted the first game of the 1950 World Cup, with Brazil beating Mexico 4-0. The stadium would go on to host 8 matches during the World Cup, with the decisive match of the tournament between Brazil and Uruguay becoming perhaps the most infamous in the stadium's history, known as the Maracanazo. With the 1950 edition of the World Cup being the only time the tournament was not decided by a one-off final and instead a final group stage, Brazil went into the final round of matches as the leaders, with just a draw required to become champions and much of the public sure of a Brazil victory. They faced second-placed Uruguay in front of a crowd that was officially stated as 173,850 people, although estimates put the number at over 200,000. Brazil took the lead shortly after half-time, but Uruguay came back to score 2 goals and win the game, making them World Cup champions for the second time. The game is considered one of the biggest upsets in the history of football and finished with the crowd silenced. Following the World Cup, the stadium became mainly used for club games involving 4 major football clubs in Rio: Vasco, Botafogo, Flamengo, and Fluminense. The Maracanã saw Pelé score the 1,000th goal of his career in 1969 and hosted the final round of the 1989 Copa America. An upper stand in the stadium collapsed in 1992, leading to the death of 3 spectators and injuring 50 others, causing the stadium's capacity to be greatly reduced as it was converted to an all-seater stadium in the late 1990s. It was classified as a national landmark in 1998 and hosted the first ever FIFA Club World Cup final in 2000. In 2010, preparations began to modernise the stadium for the 2014 World Cup and 2016 Olympics, with the original double-tiered seating bowl demolished and rebuilt as a single tier. The original stadium's roof was removed and replaced with a fiberglass membrane covering 95% of seats. The Maracanã's second World Cup in 2014 saw it host 7 matches, including the final in which Germany beat Argentina 1-0. Brazil never had the chance to play a match at the stadium during the tournament, as they were eliminated in the semi-finals in a 7-1 loss to Germany. During the 2016 Olympics, the Maracanã hosted both the men's and women's gold medal matches. The Brazil men's side won the gold at the tournament against Germany, reclaiming national pride following what had happened 2 years prior, whilst the women made the semi-finals, getting knocked out by Sweden and finishing 4th. Following the Olympics, the stadium lay dormant for several months and was subject to vandalism and neglect, with photos emerging of a worn-out-looking stadium and pitch before a new management company which would fund the stadium was secured. Today, the stadium is operated by Flamengo and Fluminense, who have pledged significant enhancements, and renovations for the roof and other parts of the stadium are expected to commence in the next few years. There is no doubt the Maracanã is one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, and it is hoped it will continue to thrive for many years to come. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future videos.